Why, hi. It is me, it is I, Small Town Didi, you're on the internet, and I am back. We're back as terug, julle. We're sitting down today to have a chat about Young, Famous, and African. We wrapped up Real Housewives of Durban. I can't find Real Housewives of Johannesburg anywhere. I'm not signing up for a new streaming service because let's be fucking real. The Johannesburg bitches are a fucking snooze fest. They are not worth signing up or upgrading a streaming service package. So they're not on DSTV catch up. That fucking app is so sad and pathetic. They're not on there, or at least I can't find them. They're definitely not on Showmax. They air on One Magic, so I was expecting to find them on Plus. So I know I promised you in the last video that I'll be reviewing Young, Famous, and African and Real Housewives of Johannesburg. If it's not showing up on any of the streaming services I've already have signed up, I am not getting into debt over those fucking boring bitches. Sorry, not doing it. So let's get into this. What rubbish. I'm so confused, but let's get into it. What happened? Oh, Diamond calls naked. That's our opening scene. Diamond's, somewhere flying high. He calls naked. He's saying to Naked, won't you like link up the crew? Let's touch base. I haven't seen everybody. Can you put together a little something cute for everybody to, link up? Let's, get the crew back together. What the fuck is Quentin wearing? Something is happening. We're doing 2 episodes at a time. I hate how they upload the entire season for you to binge because it makes reviewing hard. Like, I haven't watched ahead because I don't want it to influence what I've seen already. So we're doing just episode 1 and 2. So I hope it stops moving into the other seasons. Somebody, and it better not be fucking Swanky, got into Quentin's ear and said, you need to stop being boring with your fashions, which he wasn't, and do something. Now, there's a scuffy thing just looking random. It's like he was done being dressed and somebody was like, no, we must spruce you up. And then they chapeaed, literally, chapeaed a thing, a scarf, and then he looks ridiculous. It's like, take it off, Quentin. Like, I'm all for everybody, literally everybody, expressing themselves through clothing. If it's authentic, there's nothing authentic about these fashions that he gave in these episodes, both of them. I'm like, he looks styled. It doesn't feel like his personal style. It doesn't even feel like the person who's styling him is styling Quentin. It's like they just want to have a man look alternative, and he's not carrying the look well. He's bland broth. Put him in fucking bland clothing to go with himself. Anyway, yeah. Kanye gets a call from Quentin. Oh my God, are we getting the crew back together? Bitch, you see the cameras. You're filming. What is this? Like, see the fake stuff they do. They're trying to make like they've got these strong bonds from Fantuka Af. Come on, guys. These are just industry. And it's okay. It would still be okay for you to have this be that these are industry relationships because you guys sustain each other. So to a degree, you must care about the other person's well-being because it somehow like, feeds into your brand. But all of this trying to make like y'all thick as thieves and y'all so cool, you're so down, that's my brother, that's my sister. We have friends, guys. We know what friendship looks like. This stuff is cringe. Anyway, Andy, Quentin is calling everybody, DJ Naked, he's calling everybody trying to like, let the troops know that Diamond wants to do a little get together. He calls Andy Le and Andy Le's like, yo, does Diamond know that I'm supposed to pull through over there? And valid question because of how things ended in the last season. Quite a cliffhanger and for a reality television show. And then they also didn't have a reunion. I mean, everybody's so busy. I don't know how they'd get time to record a reunion. Like, people have real careers on this show. It's not some fucking love and hip hop shit. But anyway, he's like, well, he didn't mention that anybody shouldn't be on the thing, included in the dinner. So I'm guessing you're like supposed to come, and I'm extending the invitation. This is Quentin to Andy now. And then Kanye and Naked link up and they go for a ride, and then we have this fake scene where there's literally nobody on the road, but like children in school uniform just like appear out of thin air like farts, and they just like, oh, kanyemba, like where? Ish, la bora, yo, Anyway, we see Zari. Zari links up with Swanky at Santon at I don't even remember what brand shop that is. The obsession we have as African people with these brands that don't fucking like us is something that needs to be studied. I need literally an entire faculty to study our minds and how we respond to what is deemed luxury. Right, the construct around luxury. I mean, the studies are there to a degree, but us in particular as African people, and not even just African that we're from this continent, but black people across the globe, and are constant trying to buy our way into these spaces that constantly communicate how much they don't fool with us, how they'll take our money but they don't fuck with us. It's disturbing to me. Like, honestly, it's disturbing. And one might say it's because I don't have the means to have these items, these so-called luxury items, but guys, they're African brands. They're people who are doing the work, who are, the craftsmanship is there. Why are we just not buying our own brands? Like, honestly, I'm stunned all the time. Every time I'm like, I turn the television on and I see people decked out in like, Gucci head to toe, and it's like in your face, and it's crass and shit. What the fuck is that? Okay, I'm gonna have to stop recording for a bit. My brother's putting up a curtain rail for his mother. Anyway, Swanky then arrives at this decked out, like, guys, Swanky's swag. Swanky is swag. Like, he is swag personified. Like, he is. So I watched him this episode and I'm like, I wish Andre Leontelli would have met him. I think he would have just loved him. I think he would have felt like fashion is safe in Swanky's hands. Like, oh wow, he's amazing. I can't help but think of David Dale when I look at him, but not in the same. I mean, David is a fashion designer, right? Like, there's a sketch and things, and I think Swanky is a stylist. So you curate pieces and style and put you together and make you look lovely. But something about David is uninspired. Oh shit! Did I say that? Yes. The fashions have gotten stale. These actual collections, I don't know if it's because at some point you are wanting to have a successful fashion house, and so you must move units to a degree, especially if the custom pieces are selling as well, right? Because our people would rather wear stuff from the houses in Milan instead of like wearing the local houses and stuff. David on himself, like on his person, is really just, he dresses in black and wears shades and stuff, but he does love a flowy something. Andre Leontelli also liked her, but anyway, Swanky makes me think of Andre Leontelli. He really does. Rest in peace. Rest in like fashion peace. Anyway, what happened? Zari sits down with Thingake. They talk about the chemistry she had with Andile from the last season, and how she last saw him in the last scene from the previous season where he rocked up to a home unannounced. That's a main thing, they're spontaneous, and it's like, call, use your phone, don't just show up here. What the fuck was that, Andy? Like, what was that, Andile? What was that? Like, I still don't get it, me. But anyway, and then Zari lets us know in the confessional that, they both let us know that they've really developed a strong friendship from their work relationship that they had last season, where they were like, work buddies, if you would like. Swanky has styled Zari before for events, but Zari lets us know that Swanky invited her to Nigeria for a shindig of sorts he had going on there, and then she was surprised that Annie, who's Swanky's bestie when we left off, wasn't at this thing. So she asked, where is Annie? And Swanky's like, I don't know, like, The one thing I can respect about him is not wanting to go into detail with Zari. Now, understand, I'm hearing whispers that, you don't need to come in the comments and say to me right now what happens in episode 6 when I just told you we're doing episode 1 or 2. Re ka skwane, re dorosedwane, re tlo lwa. Do you understand? Just stay with me. Haibo. And I respect him for trying to keep that boundary, that's still my sister. Like, I still love her and I'm mad at her, but I would rather solve my issues with her before I say to the next person where she hurt me. Like, I like that. I like a friend who, even in conflict, they still, it's a character thing. It says a lot about you and how you really felt about that person, and really just how you move in friendship. I observed a friendship from not even a distance, quite close on, of somebody who likes to put people on blast. Like, Facebook was big at the time, whenever they'd fall out to the friend. And then I watched how the other friends started moving around them, right? You develop this stench about you that when we fall out, you're out there telling all our business. Like, I cannot confide in you when we're having good times, because the moment shit goes awry, there you are, letting the world see my shit. So I can respect him for not wanting to go into detail like that. And then we see Annie. Annie links up with Kanye. They bonded last season, if you can call it that, which is rather odd because they didn't start off on a good note. I hated what Kanye said in the first episode when Annie was sharing where she was, because Annie was not okay when we started off and she was talking to Andile. And when she was pouring her heart out and where she was suffering, Kanye in the confessional, this is when they weren't getting along yet, was like feeling like she's gonna, that vulnerable moment was ammunition for her. That was her angle. But they've since moved past that. But we'll see if they ever have a fallout, if Kanye resorts to using that vulnerability as ammo. We'll see, right? They link up, they seem to have gotten really close, and Annie's like sitting down with Kanye, and she's like, because Kanye's like, you've got this newlywed glow about you, are you guys still in the honeymoon phase? She's like, yeah, everybody was like thinking maybe I'm suffering in my marriage. Annie girl, do something, take up knit. I wanted to take up knitting, but I'm busy, so you can do it, right? Do everything but be Two-Face's fucking wife, or talk about it. People thought I was suffering in my marriage, people thinking that he had kids on me. That's not what happened. He had kids before we got married. You and Tubaba had been together for 19 years, according to you guys. But married for 10, according to you guys. And now you're saying he had kids before we got married. Yeah, but you were still together. People thinking he had kids while in the marriage. Semantics, Annie. Girl, it's like, shut up, actually. Why can't Annie just say to us, and I said this on my TikTok, why can't Annie just say, you guys, me, I like this lifestyle, I like this man, I like being Tubaba's wife, and like, from time to time, he'll have a baby. And like, I could need for y'all to make a noise about this fucking baby, because Annie's fine, Annie's Tubaba's wife. Like, you could really just say that, and then we will really shut up. Yes, you don't need to say, people thought I was suffering. People didn't think you were suffering. You sat there, okay, and told Andile in the first episode how you're not okay. And you couldn't wait to tell somebody that, you know what, Uncle right. And now it's like us. We think you were suffering. Girl, you told us. Uncle right. Like, no, Annie. She keeps saying innocent is a good man. I don't me to do this. She keeps saying it. And I'm like, is she saying it to us? Is she saying it to herself? Does she believe it? Does she want us to believe it? Why is she under duress? I'm looking around for the gun to her head, because why would she fucking say that? Why does she keep saying that? Tibaba is like, I mean, in your innocent is a good man. That's what my notes say here. Oh my god, innocent is a good man. That's what it says. Which innocent? Because not your husband. There must be an innocent out there who is actually innocent. Innocent, why did they name him this? You know, innocent is actually innocent, right? He's shown time and time again that I will dog you the fuck out, Annie. And Annie has stayed. So he is innocent because Annie has signed up for this fuck shit. Okay, great. And then she's like, where's Swanky? You know, what's going on with you guys? And Annie's like, I haven't seen him in a bit. And Annie's Kanye's like, nah, these people don't live far apart in Nigeria. They live around the same neighborhood. What does she mean she hasn't seen him? And she's like, I don't know what's happened. Maybe he'll let me know. I feel like I was in the blogs and my brand was being tarnished and maybe he didn't want that stench on him. Fuck no. That's not it. You've always had a stench on you from being married to this man. Every time he has a baby, it stinks around you. So I don't know why he would bail on you now. That's not it. And there's something about Annie's demeanor around this. She's moving like the guilty party in these 2 episodes. She's moving like she knows she's done something wrong. To me, anyway. Nadia links up with Andile and they... Oh, but he isn't. Oh, they're talking about Diamond's little get together, and Angela's like, I'll go, but I feel uncomfortable. Not gonna lie, but I'll pull through. Because and Angela also learns that, oh, you also got an invitation via Quentin, so everybody must have got, like, you know, an invitation through him. So I guess it's cool. And I get that, because I'd also be like, okay, did Diamond reach out to everybody else and then I was the only one that got invited, like, through Quentin? Like, I'd also be like, shit, I'm not going. I'm not going to that. And then Andila's like, oh, so you got a new man. And then this is where they introduced that she's dating the late Super Mega. And he says, you know, what's going on there? You know, you and Bonang. Bonang is also Super Mega's, like, AKA's ex. And... you know, and then in the confessionals, Nadia says, I don't know why Angela would bring that up. I feel like he's just being messy because Bonang and I aren't friends anymore. And Bonang and I fell out way before I got with AKA. So I don't know what that's about, why Angela would bring that up. I don't think Angela was being messy. I think Angela was just having, this is a natural thing to be curious about if you knew that people were mates and now this one is dating the other's ex, and not just an ex, like Bonang and AKA were proper together. So, you know, I'm just saying I am very weirded out around how we discuss, like, Super Mega and relationships, especially after those clips that went viral of the door situation, and how we just act like that didn't happen. You know, all of this Nadia being so smitten, and like we haven't heard those whispers, like we're just supposed to act like, be so happy. Money really makes us forgetful, does it not? Okay. What is that? Nadia, Nadia is asking, where did you go after the wedding? You watched the season back with the rest of us, so what the fuck is this silly question? Why don't you just phrase it correctly? Why did you go over to see Zari, as we all saw, after the wedding? Because this wasn't filmed the day after the fucking wedding. You all haven't seen each other in a bit. The thing has been on Netflix for over a year now. So why are you guys phrasing things like this? It's so bizarre to me. We all watched it. You saw where he went. Man. And then she's like, oh, did Diamond give you... And then he explains, I went to Thingaki, I went to see Zari, and Diamond was there. And Nadia's like, did Diamond give you his blessing? And she's like, Andili's like, why would I need he's blessing, like he's not her father. Like, you know, I just let him in on what's been happening, that Zari and I have been talking, and it's been looking at, there's some interest there and what have you. Anyway, and then who links up with Naked? Naked links up with Diamond. And then Diamond says Diamond says he last saw Andile at Zari's house, and yeah, they're basically just discussing the logistics of the party, and I think he was saying Andile shouldn't come. I don't know what he said, but Quinta's whole thing was like, Nagi Moody, like, I already told him, like, vibes, and like, I don't know if Naked was the right person to task with putting this shit together. But anyway, I think he should have given it to Kanye to put together. She loves to put together a little something, right? Nadia and Kaylee arrive. Zari and Nadia exchange pleasantries. So this is the day of the actual get together. It's in this huge mansion. I understand we're trying to showcase that we're not starving Africans, and that there are mansions out here too, and there's like, you know, but it's like, it's an intimate thing. It's a small group of friends. What y'all need all that fucking house for, to have this little dinner? I think that's what made it awkward, that people could like move into like another part of the house and practically be in a different province. And then I don't understand, but we're showcasing it's young, famous, and African, right? Or it's about, you know, the aesthetic of it all. I still don't get it. This was too much house for what they were doing here. Nadia arrives with Kaylee, and Zari and Nadia exchange their pleasantries and stuff, because remember, they weren't getting along last season. I still, in my brain, cannot understand what Nadia's beef with Zari was, because it can't be Diamond. What is Nadia wearing? Also, I never care for anything Nadia wears. Nadia's always dressed like she's shooting a music video, and I get that she's a rapper, but it's like, girl, these clothes are just for pictures on Instagram. Just put on some fucking real people outside clothes when you're outside. Shimule Mutu. 2 minutes and when she's gandaragging and entering her skirt, pulling it down every other two. First of all, like, why? I'd be so uncomfortable having to like do that every other 2 minutes. Like, okay. Annie and Kanye arrive. Zari and Annie don't talk, and Annie's uncomfortable. Annie doesn't want to be at this gathering, right? Again, she's moving like the guilty party in whatever's happening between her and Swanky. That, you know, she says to Kanye, you know, I don't want to be in Kanye. You know, Kanye's always in actress mode. What do you mean? These are your friends. Like, you know, just talk to the people you want to talk to. Okay, doopsie. But anyway, Annie... Swanky arrives and then snubs Annie, goes around the dinner table, to everybody. You know, it's so childish. He could have just said, hello, hi, friends, and then sat. But he made sure to go around everybody and then, like, turned around when it was time to greet Annie and went down to, and very obviously communicating to the room, oh, we're not cool. Me and homegirl aren't cool like that. Which then shifts the energy in the room. It's like your tension bleeds into the rest of the relationships in the room. That shit is messed up. I'm one of those people who can mess up a vibe. Nah, like, I'm one of those people. If my mood tanks, I can tank the dinner table. Like, it's so heavy. I can, and not on purpose, but I've seen myself do it. Right? Not on purpose and not in real time, but I've seen when I start to, especially if somebody pisses me off and I'm taking a bit to center and just pull myself out of it, and I'm like, I'm in it, I'm still so mad, and everybody's trying to manage my feelings. That shit is annoying. I'm not enjoying it when it's happening. I'm not doing it on purpose, but it's like, or I really just can't be bothered with that bitch, but that stuff it can fuck up the vibe in the room. It really can. I've seen it. Kanye, who pulled up with, Kanye pulls, okay. Nadia then tries to be, because Nadia will ask, right? So Kanye sees Nadia go there, so she's like, let's go in and let's go get your drink. So they get up, they go to the side, and she's like, what were you gonna do just now? Don't ask them what's going on. Don't say anything. Don't be miss. I'm so concerned. Just leave it alone. Today is not the day for us to talk about this. Which made a lot of sense to a degree. They need their one-on-one time, Swanky and Annie. Andile and Q, it's because I kept writing him as Andy, man. Andile and Q arrive. And what's Quentin wearing in this scene? I don't know, but it probably looks ridiculous. Andile's suit looks quite nice and stuff. They arrive from their jobs. I'm like, why was Naked tasked with hosting this thing when he had work on the day? Like, as the host, he wasn't even there to receive the guests. Weird. I guess maybe that's the person that Diamond was getting along with best at the time, which wouldn't make sense. Him and Kanye picked him up last season to introduce him in scene, but I think she introduced everybody. Anyway. Oh, okay. I did hug Zari and they hug tight and they're doing little whispers. Guys, men like Andile are the disease that we warn you guys about. Andile is dangerous, guys. This man is dangerous. I don't know how to explain it. You're gonna die. You, the boys are gonna kill us. I had fun watching this, you guys. I really did. Hug Zari and they're whispering. They have such chemistry, guys. It's so cute to see. Diamond is mad. Diamond is Diamond is so bad. Diamond is so bad. He's like, I'm so disrespectful the way he's holding her too tight. To who? Like, disrespectful to who? You guys, the way Diamond talks about Zari, I'll get into it in episode 2. But anyway, and everybody's at they had their little dinner thing, then they stood up and went to a different section of the house, like more couches and stuff. But people kept moving. Like, this group would sit here and then this group would take these people to go over there. Swanky goes outside to receive a guest, and we learn it's Bonang to introduce. I wasn't expecting to see Bonang so early in the season, but here we go. I'm very confused about why she's in this thing, but I'm also not confused. It's not on brand for her. It's not completely off brand. It's just not on brand, and she's such an on brand person. Anyway, so when he goes out to receive her, to introduce her, Kanye stands up and calls Nadia to the side. We don't see what they go to chat about. And they claim they didn't see Bonang come in, or they didn't see that Swanky was bringing her in, so that's not why they left. I don't believe them. I don't believe them. Because when they stood up the first time, we got to see what they were going off to chat about. And in this scene, we don't see where they're going, what purpose they're leaving for, except for the fact that I feel like maybe from the corner of her eye or whatever angle Kanye was sitting at, she saw from a distance who was coming. And maybe Bonang didn't see her, but she saw, and she went to sort of warn Nadia and like prepare her for what was about to transpire in scene. But I don't believe them. That's just too weird for them to just stand up. Anyway, the baddest has landed. The baddest that ever did it. Like, listen. She lands, the queen, bee. Bonang Matheba in the building, guys. Swanky introduces her. Hey guys, everything is, these introductions are getting weird. But anyway, she comes in. She has relationships with almost everybody in that room. You know, she worked with Andy Lay. She knows Q. They're in radio. It's industry people in there, so there's nobody she doesn't know in the room. So it was odd for me for it to be this, like, I feel like Swanky, she could have just been introduced while they were having the dinner. Not even introduced, but Swanky could have just arrived with her as a plus one. Last season, we had an issue with Kanye feeling like Zari is trying to make them extras. Like Zari thinks she's such a star and they are extras in the Zari show. And Kanye's whole point was like trying sort of to check Zari's ego, which was odd because Kanye's ego was actually trying to check Zari's ego. And it was like a clash of the egos, but Kanye wasn't seeing her ego in the ring. She thought she was just being, I don't know what. And then, so I'm like, if you are going to, if we've established that everybody in this room is here because there's somebody, because they have fame, because they have, well, some of them don't have money, but they know fame. They're not gonna experience, especially because they know her. They're not gonna fan out for Bonang like I would. They know her. So why is she being introduced? Why wasn't she just invited and known that she was gonna be a guest? Because then this avoids this weird, oh, I didn't get a warm welcome. What were they supposed to do? Fan out. Everybody there has an ego. And some people, rightfully so, people are mega stars in there. People have huge careers. People have big deals in there, right? In their respective fields. So how are they meant to receive, yes, she's a well-established person, but the introduction of people, like, I don't get it. Just say you're showing up with this person so people anticipate that this is gonna happen and they make accommodations for them. But don't expect the girls to fan out for one of the girls. Like, we know, like, their egos aren't built to do that. Everybody in there is like big shit to themselves. It's big dick energy everywhere. What's meant to happen? Anyway, they come back to the Bonang hugs on everybody. People, you know, Andy and Q are happy to see her. And then Kanye pulls Nadia to the, Kanye comes back to the table, does a fake A kiss, and they sit down next to each other. And then in the confessionals, Kanye says she's not friends with Bonang, it's industry things. Like, they just know each other. She kept her distance from her because she could never figure her out. And I find this to be hilarious. I find this to be so hilarious because to me, they're like different sides of the same coin, right? The major difference between Bonang and Kanye, right, is that Kanye chose to build her brand on controversy, whereas Bonang chose to build her brand on being manicured and curating the perfect image, which makes her very vulnerable. When the tiniest things go wrong, her world shakes. Whereas Kanye, when something like negative is posted about her, it's on brand, like it's just whatever. But that can also then limit the kind of collaborations you can have with other brands. You know, would a wine farm want to collaborate with Kanye and her name? Possibly. I think she has, everybody has a gin, everybody has something. But it's not to the magnitude of Bonang's MCC. Like, it's just, it's not, is it? Bonang had the foresight also because she started young. This is why I'm saying this does not feel on brand for her. She's too big for this show. She is. As a brand on her own, she's carried her own show quite well. But even when we talk about that show of hers, it's so manicured. It's like, it's branding, right? They're trying to sell us fabulous Bonang. She requires a great deal of control, which is why I'm like, why is she on this show? Because I don't think she'd get the level of control she would like on this show, which means she'd need to keep herself in check to a degree, as opposed to her own show. She can just tell them, I don't fucking want that shit in the edits, right? Because I think she's a producer on that show. But maybe she wants a relationship with Netflix, which is a great idea. She wants the audience because she saw that the first season did well and she wants to, you know, extend her reach, and maybe they're just paying her really well, right? these three things are the only reason, but it's not on brand. She's relinquishing too much control, and she loves a manicured brand. Part of why I think she likes a manicured brand is because she started so young in the industry, right? And you can't have controversy when you're that young, starting in the industry, hosting kiddies channels. She was doing this, what was it? Was it a debate show for kids? I forgot what it was. But she started so young. She's literally like grown in the industry, so she couldn't afford to come onto the scene like Kanye did. Kanye is, when Bonang introduces herself, she lets us know that she's like self-centered, she's bossy, she's this. These are all things that we could easily just throw at Kanye. The only thing about them is that the approaches to building their brand, stark opposites, but their character, very similar. Both main character syndrome. Like, both of them really love to be the center of attention. It's just Bonang has really done it. It's bigger and larger than life. Kanye does a lot of lip service, right? Kanye also moves like, one of my favorite YouTubers likes to talk about Portia Williams from Real Housewives of Atlanta. Kanye is constantly, it's like I don't know if when she arrives, if she'll ever know that she's arrived, right? Because she made men her hustle and controversy her hustle. It's like she can't abandon that brand. When she tried to, when she was dating the guy who plays the flutes with his brothers, it wasn't landing. It was like, what rubbish is this? She's always gonna need the mess to carry the brand. And at some point it should get tiring, right? At some point it should just be like, I'm so tired. It's like sometimes it does come off as trying too hard and inauthentic. Sometimes it comes off as, is that Lambo rented? Like, you don't believe she has the money. I don't know what to tell you, and I love Kanye, right? But something about her looks borrowed because she tries to put it on so much. And whereas Bonang, you kind of can tell that this bitch got it. And because the clash of the egos, feeling like Zari's making you an extra, the very presence of Bonang puts Kanye in extra mode, right? She can't stand that. All of this, I just could never figure her out. Girl, shut up. Oh my God, I really stayed on this point. Annie, what happened? Oh, Annie had gone off to this, it doesn't matter. When she comes back, she's like to Swanky, oh, Swanky is sitting in my seat. Oh, babe, not Swanky ignoring this shit. Guys, there is a moment in the confessionals where Swanky sips his tea and he puts it down and he's like, jokes. When I tell you that took me out, I was minding my own business and I'm like, I have no business laughing at this hard, and this has no business being this funny, okay? But Swanky doesn't move, so Diamond eventually moves for Annie to sit down. Annie feels out of place, you guys, and you can see it. She's awkward, she's looking out of place, she's feeling out of place, and then she says her goodbyes and she says she's an old woman and she just wants to go to bed. She's not trying to be around this and these kids. She's feeling disrespected by Diamond. Always so interesting to me how she can exit every situation except that fucking marriage. Okay, Quinton introduces Fantana. He go again, the introduction. What's supposed to happen when Fantana walks in? Like, are these well-established people meant to be like, woo, Fantana? Like, no, bitch. Like, nobody's doing that. Like, introduces her. She was, I don't know if she was born, but she was raised in the US for all her schooling career, and then she moved back to Uganda, or moved to Uganda. She is a dance hall. She says she's the biggest, but you know, people are always trying to, like, you know, overvalue themselves, really. They're always trying to sell us, because I'm not gonna, like, I won't know, right? It's gonna take somebody from Ghana in my comments to be like, that bitch lied. Tell me. Okay. She is a dancehall artist and stuff, and she knows Swanky because when she comes in, they hug and everything. He's styled like so many people on the continent. I'm not shocked that people know him. I think he's the guy who you probably want to get to style you when you land in Nigeria for things like that. I think he's styled Bonang for, because she's done award ceremonies and stuff in Nigeria and stuff. I think that's where they know each other. Fantana lands, and then Bonang's like, oh hi, I'm Bonang, I'm Fantana, whatever, and then she Quentin is obviously feeling responsible for her because he brought her into the group, right? But she's obviously dressed very scantily and like, you know, she's a dancehall girl, you know, and she's got her things in place, you know. And Kaylee's like, oh, you're a gentleman? It was a gentleman. Like, I understand why Kaylee was upset, because Kaylee's like in her confessionals, all Quentin had to do is tell me he's like bringing this person, because if I was to introduce a friend in the group, a male friend, without his knowledge, and I'm all like parading person around, he wouldn't take this like very well. So why is he doing it to me? I get it. No, I don't think she's so insecure. I think what rubbish. You could have just told your girl, I'm gonna introduce this girl. I met her through my show and stuff, and you know, just be prepared for that. Now you're walking in there being Mr. You know, Quentin in. But come on, Diamond. Oh, Diamond is hypersexualizing Fantana. But Fantana is not the type of girl who minds being hypersexualized. So this may just be me projecting. I don't like men who just talk about your body and your body and your body and your body. But that's why the girls get the bodies done, right? They thrive off that validation. Some women require that thing, and it's nothing the matter with it. It's just not for me, only because this expires. It's so fickle. Like, I could be like this tomorrow, like that the next day. So if this is what you're gonna appreciate the most about me, and I can't maintain looking like this for the rest of my life, then I'm like, what are we doing? Like, what the fuck is this? But he just wants to smash, so it makes sense. But ish, these BBLs, I'm not saying she got a BBL, I'm just saying these BBLs killing y'all. And the thighs don't match. Well. That is my jam on TikTok. So past this. David is like to Andile, yeah, Andile, my brother. Yeah. I like a jacket. You're my role model. Andile's like, yeah, thanks. Like, yeah. The boys are fighting! I can't do it. Anyway, you're my role model was so unnecessary, you guys. And then Swanky doesn't want to talk about his issues with Annie. That's my last note from the first episode. I didn't think I'd spend this long on this. Like, what the fuck I gotta say for this long? God. Episode 2. So I'm trying to edit the video. Guys, it's too long. I have to split it, but I'll post like, I'll have to post episode 1 and 2 in the same day because I wanted them to go together. It makes no sense if all the episodes are uploaded at once to bring you guys back like week after week of no, it's silly. I need to get them out as soon as possible, but stick around for episode 2. I should upload them one after the other, probably in the same day. Mwah. Bye, Yala.